the chairman, Sports and Media Development Network Board of Trustees, in person of I'll call him my senior colleague before I call him my father. I call him my senior colleague because I'm a trained journalist as well. My senior colleague, my friend, and the chairman, Sports and Media Development Network, in person of Chief Gboyega Okegbenro, the Ajuroba of Okegbenro. Please, a round of applause and try to go forward. Thank you so very much. You're welcome, sir. Once again, this is an informal lunch. In the coming months, we're going to be having the formal lunch. So please feel free, feel at home, feel relaxed. Gentlemen of the press, be easy, and let's make it a very memorable occasion. Thank you so much once again.
Mr. Chairman, my very eminent, worthy, and highly respectable friends, colleagues, and family here gathered, I take extreme delight in first and foremost appreciating each and every one of us that are taking time to turn out here this morning. I looked around everyone here and I feel immensely blessed at the quality of people that have gathered here at very short notice. I don't want to get personal, but like I said, it's an informal occasion. For them, I may say a whole lot of things there. I owe him a whole lot of gratitude for a lot of things that will need days and weeks and months to begin to number. Please help me applaud it. Give me a round of applause. My brother here, I don't know where to start from. I thank you for coming. Chief Godwin Dudu, my friend, my colleague, and one of my third of inspiration in a lot of sports center development related things, long-standing friend. I thank you for giving the lead and giving all the challenges and schedules to be here this morning. Last but not the least, that category, Oloye Bukola Olopade. I know he holds the title from his background of town as a common editing in Abeokuta, but I gave him a personal title. I call him Okonlomo of Egbaland and Okonlomo of Nigerian sports. Thank you. In the fullness of time, the full meaning and manifestation and understanding of that title shall manifest to the whole world. There is not much time to spare this moment. My assignment is just to spend like 10 or 15 minutes to take us through this entire sports and media development in the So for that, by me, I bridge my assignment in a way by just going through and detailing briefly some of the things that we have done and the routes we have mutually traveled together in the past. I've been in this industry or profession for the better part of 40 years. I got in as a copper in 1982. So it's a long time from now. We got in very young, those that were very small boys. But we ran with a great deal of excitement at the normal newsroom madness of those days, not the telephone journalism of these days. And we tried to make the best use of the challenges that came our way. And what gave birth to Smart Network? Why Smart Network? I was on the flight to Abuja. Very true story. 1st of March, I remember precisely. I didn't have a mission in particular in Abuja, but I just got fed of Lagos with and stuff like that. So I was on my Ghana air flight, and a lot of things normally when you are in flight, we're just playing out in my mind. I just do it and say, do it like that. Because sometimes there are few things that are in it, but for me, they turn out to be bodies. Especially when I feel some development are not going right in a particular area and I'm not able to impact them. I look essentially at the media. I've been quite displeased at the way a lot of things are running in the media lately. I also look at my area of specialization, area of practice, area of strength over the last 38, 39 years. And I saw it being sports and sports. Although I ventured out to some aspects of journalism, I was editor of the strongest and widest circulating ever social magazine in Nigeria for 3 years, Prime People. But sports had a way of bringing me back. Before then, after my popularity work in life, I ventured into New Breed and Present magazine and rose as high as deputy editor in a business newspaper. The president has new pick. We covered banking, we covered everything. 1989, I covered National Constituent Assembly for 1.5 years. So I look at all this hybrid of experience and exposure. And there is the element of travel. If you are privileged to travel a little bit as modestly as some of us, you suffer a lot mentally and emotionally. Because you see things in other climes that are happening, that are really happening in real time. And who are the people driving there? They are teenagers, they are boys of 22 and 23. If you venture to ask for their age, you see that they are not even as old as some of your children. And you ask them, you come back to your country, and everything is just at one point, like that. Everything is standing, a lot of emotion, and no more. I just made up my mind on that trip. Excuse me, I got into my hotel around 7 p.m. that evening, and I had a shower. When I feel like that, like I had somebody saying formally the other time, I was not raised in the computer era. My good friend and brother there, Shala, you come, he said, a print, I cannot edit on, I cannot do all this computer editing. I must have the thing printed. So I called for papers in my hotel that night. And I found out before I knew it, I had written like 6 pages of a lot of nonsense, of a lot of. So the next morning I called my lawyer. My lawyer and company secretary normally is in Lagos here, but I have friends all over. I just thought of one of my children, a daughter of a church in Abuja. But I told me, the small girl came to my hotel and I said, listen, go and do research for me about NGOs, and I want to study it before I leave Abuja. I'm looking at doing something that is non-governmental, that will be educative, that will be mentorship-driven, that will be a bit into the grassroots and the downtrodden levels of the society, that will speak to developments in the area of sports and the media. So she asked me some questions and I made it clear. And these are the things that I want to bring on the table here. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of gap in terms of quality and depth that I see in the sports end of day-to-day media. I also look at a lot of things happening in sports, and like a lot of things in my exposure I revealed, Nigeria has never been short of sports talent at any point in time. The issue is that we do not have the quality honing at the right time. When a man has already risen to the age of 14 before he knows how to trap the ball, until I began to run some things at People's Academy, he invited me once or twice, that I begin to appreciate the sense in exposing people to quality. A boy of 6 or 8 must not be collected to trap the ball, to collect the ball. If you don't know it at that age, you have lost it for life. And that clearly is the difference between us and Europe. So that I don't waste time and distract everybody. I have a few slides there that speaks to what we are trying to do is make network. And this is like a global view of everything. For our sector of journalism, like I said, sports, there is no doubt that our reporters these days need a lot of assistance, a lot of help, a lot of support, a lot of orientation, a lot of mentorship. So we do not have the resources to do everything, and we cannot impact everything overnight. But we have said that every quarter, there will be quarterly roundtable with editors, where we share ideas in different sports. You bring a man like Onoche to come and orientate journalists about tennis reporting, you get quality. You bring a gentleman like Gideon Riemann to even come and talk about ethics or rules or technicalities of football, you get quality. Because the clear fact is that there is a knowledge gap, there is a knowledge deficit. In our time in the 80s, when we got to the industry, you had so many people. You had Chukwamuma writing columns of boxing and tennis in the Guardian and Punch. You had Ayo Shitedu writing tennis, which was like a lecture series, and you had to read those days. So all of these things are no longer there. You have people like Gboyega playing football. Journalists that you can interview with your tape and go and write verbatim. Not people that you have to do the writing for and quote and put quotes in their mouth. So these are some of the issues. We're generally about sports network, sports and media network. We are generally an NGO set up to provide coaching, provide education, organize counseling, mentorship, and all-round support for 2 key areas of the populace: underprivileged children and the girl child. Also, sports and media professionals. Smart Network will leverage on the huge power of sports resources to enhance the questionnaires with the economic light of our focus beneficiaries. That is the underprivileged in society and sports media professionals. Next slide. What is the vision? Like I alluded to in my earlier statements, we are primed on creating and nurturing this platform in a way that it will help sports talents and media professionals impact their environment, impact their sectors, impact their operational corners. Next. Our mission is to enhance the lives of sports media professionals, the children, women, and the and physically challenged people through capacity development. Everything speaks to education, speaks to mentorship, speaks to capacity development, mentoring, and life-changing programs. Yusuf Ali has been here earlier this morning. He's one of our lead resource people in the area of track and field, and we all know what and who Yusuf Ali is in sports. We are in partnership with Nilayo Sports. We are in partnership with Okegbenro soccer post-primary institution and a lot of other platforms like that. Well, from what you can see in our corporate entirety, there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of flair, and a lot of affinity all around the platform of sports and the media. What are our core values? We do not know it all and we do not have it all, but we are primed on driving on 4 main pillars. We believe in collaboration. We will collaborate with institutions that are doing similar to areas of interest. And I'm pleased to announce that ahead of the next Nilayo organized Access Bank Marathon, we'll be running the first major media orientation and training program for track and field reporters drawn from all parts of Africa, because the platform has gone global and international, and media people will be coming not only from within Nigeria but also outside. We will run a 3-day orientation program in terms of etiquette at marathon races, strategies of reporting marathon, what are the myths of marathon report writing. Because I'm sorry to say, a lot of our reporters just lump everything together, and it is not their fault. But we will provide a platform where we have some 2 to 3 days focused training, serious training, where we have senior people, technical officials, and coaches come and share this. What that does is it ensures better quality reporting, and it encourages the planners and investors too. Professionalism, of course, this is clear from all that I've been saying. Integrity, this is also clear from what I've been saying. At the end of the day, we believe we should make impact, and we believe that with time, not in 1 day, not in 2 days, but taking this step of faith, we will get there and begin to make impact. Thank you. Well, our payoff line is a very simple and relatable line. What are we trying to do is mentor. We are creating opportunities and changing lives. When we create opportunities for athletes to learn quality skills much earlier in life, we're practically also helping them. Our aims and objectives are very clear. At risk of wasting time, they are clear enough, and they are all the things we have been speaking to. Next, our key strategic functions. This deserves some clear running through here. Number 1 is training, seminars, and conferences. We will organize a lot of things like that, which I detailed before. Number 2 are technical collaborations and exchange programs. For instance, the Gboyega International School has a whole calendar of yearly events. We will sit down with them, look at their programs, and see where we can collaborate, where we can provide support, even media training for their young athletes and young children. Because we also need to develop the next generation, and we need to get them from their young age. And I will share the experience of the school we went to last week with us later. Number 3 is mentorship and institutional strength. Like I said, there is no organization that has the resources to do it alone. Nilayo Sports has done very well in sponsorship marketing, in quality marathon organizing, but there are deficiencies in the area of media management. Having isolated that kind of crisis, there will be collaboration. We will bring their skills, they will bring their network and resources, and we can all mutually develop sports and athletics and general sector of sports in the country. Number 4, scholarship and resource facilitation support. I do not know whether anyone outside of Okegbenro here has had an interaction with the Institute of International Sports based in Rhode Island. I've had a relationship with these people since we met at the Atlanta Olympics in 1996, and it is on record. I was the first Nigerian to attend the International Scholar Athletic Games. In fact, talking about the power of sport that you whatever me alluded to, I was first editor in many times and I was just doing my thing. But every tournament that I went, I paid attention to a lot of extraneous things. And one of the things I did in Atlanta, I made strong acquaintance with two organizations. One, the World Chiropractic Association, whom I had earlier met at Harare in 1995. Emails were not that popular at that time, but we were sending emails. Is it the daily time that you don't even have enough power to do the job? So they were sending me emails, I was not getting it. That one guy. But when we got to Atlanta, I re-energized the relationship with them. And also, like you all know, a lot of non-sporting activities take place at these events. That was when I also ran into a group of people that had officials of the international. And by the time we started an engagement, I got the biggest shock of my life. I never heard of the word note verbal. This institution was also interested in me. They went and researched the strength of daily times and they were writing me letters. I was just in the office one day, that Gboyega editor of letters called me. I go, he said, American embassy called me this morning and they brought this in. I said, where are you going to? I went on a non-previously booked appointment the next morning, 10 a.m. to the American embassy, and they just gave me thing, bam, 2-year visa, and stamped that in there. Everywhere, diplomatic treatment. So I had to ask somebody when I got there, what is doing over there? In fact, you read the letter. It was an express thing from, what did they call this, American Foreign Affairs? USIS. No, not USIS. Homeland, no, not Homeland Security. I remember.
State Department.
It's from the State Department. And they gave me a reference, and on every page that is stamped on throughout my trip, everywhere I went. So when I now met Dan Doyle, the guy who was president of this organization, you have made a University of Rhode Island in Providence. After the thing, so I had a meeting. Normally, I would conduct interviews in Porter. He now said, keep that file very well. You will always need it. Anytime you run into trouble and we have a program, just post this number. I still have it in one of my old pastors. This speaks to the power of sport. It's something until I got to the Ministry of Sport about 10 or 20 years later. I found out that to get no baba in Nigeria is a business of Ministry of Foreign Affairs, of the presidency, and a lot of collaborating high-level institutions. But America sent it to me free of charge, and I was a VIP all on that trip. Power of sports. And what were they doing at the University of Rhode Island? School-level sports. Scholar athlete games. What did I do? 3 months after, I have a copy of the letter in my office upstairs. I was searching for someone when I saw it about 3 months ago. I wrote a letter to Dr. Amos Sachant. That by the next one we were having in 1998, since I had a relationship with them, they should let us take Nigerian athletes. They gave me acknowledgement. After 3 months, I wrote another one. I went to Abuja, and I did not want to tell you what I had thereafter. Years later, when I became an official of that same ministry, I opened the same thing. But you see, we will get there. The Nigerian sports sector is so many things are so murky. People do not want things that are developmental. They don't want things that are non-systemic driven. And this was a platform that should have been encouraged to relate to the National Sports Federation, and would have been doing something there between the Ministry of Education and Sports at the level of secondary school children. Anyway, so that I don't waste time and lose track. Last but not the least, sponsorship and promotion of girl, child, and women's sport. We all know the deprived position of a woman, especially at the grassroots level. There are so many issues around the girl, child, and women in Nigeria. Look at what happened to Blessing Okegbenro recently. I'm afraid for all you know, the girl will just be on her own and left out of faith now. We need to have institutions looking at all these extraneous things, providing counseling where necessary. We were not this structured at that time, but I have it on record and I have photographs. I met General Bukamawa in Abuja 2 times ahead of the last Olympics. And what did I ask them to do? You are the NDLA. We have a young platform, newly registered NGO. Let us take drug counseling, drug awareness education to the Nigerian Olympic Committee and the Nigerian CAN. They said, did I have the backing of collaboration? I said, I don't have the backing of the Ministry of Sport. You are a government agency specifically assigned to deal with all drugs. It's not just to arrest people at the airport. You should also do some education, some drug counseling and all of that, particularly on the use of major sports equipment that might involve the country, so as to avoid stories that thought. It was as if I was flamboyant, but I did not have any relationship with Mr. Nostradamus. But look at what happened in the Blessing Okegbenro case. So these are all the things that we will develop, and we believe with God on our side and with the right attention and collaborations, we can create the right conversations at the right time. We are not going to be a Mr. Do-Up because we don't have the resources and power to do up, but we will move and we will pursue on these initiatives and ideas in a way that seeks and achieves impact. We have various programs that we have already designed, which will cascade down to the grassroots. But there's no need wasting time. They are on our website and we can look at them. Can we go? Next slide, next slide. I think the next important thing to just say and rounding up, so that I don't take too much time any longer, is that to the glory of God, we have started last week. And deliberately, as we have said, we are focused on two key institutions that have been involved in nearly 40 years, sports sector and the media. And I deliberately decided to start from a school. Of course, we have isolated 3 schools. I want to start small in my area. We have isolated 3 schools across 3 senatorial districts in Lagos State and Ogun State. So one of the schools that we've been speaking with encouraged us to come, and we were at Ijayojokoro High School last week. And the experience we had there was so interesting. What did we do? We went to engage their press club, where we provided simple basic education about the news processes, news gathering processes, news understanding processes, and you could not believe the level of excitement. We also took our first leap of faith and belief and action. They did not have a library in a standard secondary school in Lagos State of 2021. They did not have books, they did not do anything. So we started by making a donation of 100,000 naira for the purchase of books and setting up of a library. But our approach was that we were not going to give cash to any principal or school. We have requested for a list of books which we will supply and go and present it to them, and all of that we will achieve between now and December. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much. Some of the pictures are on the website. We thank you for coming. Thank you.
Can we have a round of applause for the chairman, Board of Trustees, Sports and Media Development Network. Thank you very much, sir, for that expose. We really enjoyed it, and the high point of that presentation for me was when he stated how the